そうだ、僕の船に乗ってそのまま海を越えないか。
わちきがフランスへ？それも悪くはありんせんね。
だろう君を連れて帰ったらママたちは驚くだろうな。
Okay, so a lot of people who played Rise of the Ronin at launch will tell you it's a hidden gem that deserved better than it got, akin to a Titanfall 2 or Kingdoms of Amalur. A solid game overlooked for coming out at the wrong time or in the wrong circumstances, with Rise suffering from both. We've had a lot of samurai games come out over the past few years filling similar niches, so Rise was already in steep competition, and adding insult to injury was it being a year-long PlayStation exclusive. I'm not the biggest Koei Tecmo or Team Ninja enjoyer, but I love Nioh 2. It was the first Souls-like game that didn't make me want to uninstall it 15 minutes in. The immense customization from aesthetics to gameplay, the varied enemies, the boss fights, the intriguing, albeit nonsensical story, all of it had me in a vice grip I couldn't shake for over 200 hours, so when I first saw Rise of the Ronin trailers I was very interested. An open world title with combat mechanics as intricate as Nioh with the same level of customization? I was on board the moment I laid eyes on it, then realized it was a PlayStation exclusive and my heart fucking sank. Fast forward a year, we finally see it released on PC, bought it the moment it launched, and yeah, this game is probably gonna stay overlooked for a hot ass minute. Gameplay wise, or at least combat wise, Rise is very fun. The game showers you with so many ways to deal with enemy encounters. A dozen weapons, each with multiple fighting styles, a solid set of skill trees to empower your character in and out of combat, plenty of items that don't feel useless, a very intriguing party system. There's a lot going on here, some of which Rise does well and none of which it does particularly bad, even if it's noticeably unoriginal. If you've played Nioh, for the most part you'll feel right at home with its combat and critical hits. Counters, while borrowed from Nioh, also clearly bite heavily from Sekiro. Stealth, while fun, will feel like something you've seen in Assassin's Creed. Air traversal feels taken from Breath of the Wilds. The Vendetta system feels like a more diluted version of Shadow of War's Nemesis system, and I'll spare you the comparison of Rise's Bond system to any relationship system you've seen in a BioWare title. Despite diving into largely charted territory, Rise's combat is so remarkably rewarding that other gameplay aspects of it, like the open world, either add to, or at least don't take away from the experience. What Phoenix Rising is to Breath of the Wilds, Rise of the Ronin loosely is to Ghost of Tsushima. Lesser? Sure, in some ways. Does it stand out on its own? I'd certainly say so. If you like Team Ninja's approach to combat design, or if you're really into the saturated samurai action game scene, Rise of the Ronin will make a nice addition to your library. Or that's what I would say if this game wasn't plagued with technical issues. It's no secret that Rise of the Ronin isn't the prettiest game. Visually it feels outdated. Many have compared it to an early PS4 or PS3 title, especially when looking at its contemporaries, even ones released from the same company. Your mileage on its looks may vary, but it didn't bother me so much that I felt inclined to stop playing the game. What absolutely did drive me up a wall, however, is the game's myriad of bugs. Another open secret is Team Ninja's inability to release a competent PC port at launch. Endless loading screens, invisible obstacles, texture, character, and environmental pop-ins. If it's not NPCs with either story or side quests you can't start because they won't show up, it's enemies in an encampment that fail to appear while you're sneaking around, only for them to pop up out of nowhere if they even make an appearance. All of which makes playing this game a trial that actively tests your patience. Between the lack of polish fucking with the gameplay and its remarkably average story, it's very easy to get burned out or frustrated playing this game for long periods of time. And for reference, my PC has a 3080 graphics card with an i-Core 7 and 16 gigs of memory. Not the strongest PC out there, but far from the weakest. Definitely meeting or exceeding every PC requirement for Rise, and I'm hearing stories of people with PCs far stronger than mine struggling to run this game too. The abundant technical issues, combined with its less than ideal visuals, gives me the same kind of feeling I had when playing Fallout 4 at launch back in 2015. Right now, the only way to avoid this shit is to simply not play the game at all. And as for its story, I'm not gonna speak on it much for a few reasons. One, I'd argue it's the least intriguing part of the game. Two, the game is a year old. There isn't much I can say that you haven't probably already heard. And three, because of Rise's technical issues, I haven't finished the game. I'm only 22 hours in, which probably won't change until the next patch. The story is serviceable and there are some funny and cool moments, but narratives are clearly not Teen Ninja's strong suit or selling point, which would be fine if not for Rise's complete lack of optimization. TLDR, on PC at least, don't buy this game until it's fixed.